What's going on, y'all? Is it me, or do y'all find it strange or funny that now all of the stay away from the Akata people now all of a sudden are calling us family, and we all must be African, and everything about what we eat, black-eyed peas and okra, goes back to Africa. However, I keep asking this question: what country on the continent of Africa do foundational Black American freedmen belong to? Can anyone, and I mean anyone, answer that question? If you could tell us that 400 years of being in America, we still have some kind of biological connection to have our creations here in this country inspired by the continent of Africa, then you should be able to tell us where in Africa is replicating the actions that we do here, since it's so much of a DNA tie. Somebody let me know, please. All right. Welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. And this, of course, is your host, Beatzilla PDX officially. Welcome to the midweek report. This one, of course, is a news break edition, which means it is tape delayed and usually typically not on camera, but today we are. Today we are on camera for a little bit. This ain't going to be a long broadcast at all, but I wanted to chime in real quick because something happened today. Actually, it's happened over the last couple of days. As you're coming into this broadcast as well, make sure you hit that like button, share this out on your social media. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, come over here to the Beatzilla PDX official channel on YouTube. If you're watching on X, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded. Now, and peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon each and every one of my members. And if you would like to also become a member of this channel, you can do so by hitting the join button and becoming a member. And thanks for everyone else for tuning in this evening. So, like I was saying, there's this conversation out here. And we've been seeing it a lot lately with people trying to tell foundational Black Americans about this influence and that influence. We saw, and actually there was a video that I was going to do. I ended up not doing it. Thumbnail ready and everything, but it was about Essence. And going back to the Essence article that came out, or the little Essence piece
for Black History Month that was trying to heavily tie in the Caribbean influence into New Orleans. So instead of New Orleans having its own flair and own connections, they somehow made it a Caribbean influential thing in New Orleans. And that was the little piece that they did. A lot of people rejected it, but you're having a lot of people come out here and speak different right now. And I think you've heard other people tell you, like, it might have been Brother Tariq mentioned it, Professor Black Truth. I know he's mentioned it. Be on the lookout for a lot of these new people. And I've mentioned it myself because while we were going through some of these accents, and what did I tell y'all, family? That Southern accent, they're going to try to latch on to the country all of a sudden. Because now in their minds, oh man, we from Alabama. We from Mississippi. We Gullah Geechee. You're going to hear a lot. And now everybody's going to be a Gullah. Now, we done had our good brother Greg Marcel Dixon come out here, run for the last few years against Clyburn in his district in South Carolina, the low country, the home of the Gullah Geechees. And in some instances, yes, they understand their long past roots and origins, but their culture is very much here. You're not going to get no Gullahs immediately telling you that they from Africa. That's not what they're going to say. They're not going to see, and these people do a lot of that now. It's everything is an African inspiration. Everything we do, if I create something, it's an African inspiration. Let me just play something real quick. I just want to play a little tidbit of this because I want to see if you maybe I'm missing something, and you could tell me that this is the sound of Africa. Let's see. Let's play this one. Is there an African that sounds like this? Where's that African at? Oh. Any African sounds like this? I don't know. If you guys are on X, let me know. Okay. What you do? Okay. Say what? Definitely not out Africa. No, this is creation. Straight up, straight out. Just let you know that lead line, the verses, that's one take. And I wrote it while recording. So where would the inspiration be? I didn't write it with a pen. I was on the mic, and what you hear on that record is what I wrote when I wrote it. Delivery and all. Now, of course, I had all the extras because it's all my voice. But you hear a lead right there. What about that? So I would just like to know for myself as a creator of soul music, what African country do I sound like? What kind of influence must I have in my DNA that allows me to do what I do? That would be my question. Because it seems like, I grew up with other relatives and friends. Like, again, I mentioned on this channel, I'm from the same family of George Duke, Sir Duke himself. So it's funny too, because like when I was out in Denver last year, I heard the story of how he even ended up in LA, how Philip Bailey ended up with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and how the Free Life record ended up getting cut. All of that is because my cousins left Denver, Colorado. You know where the first Black freed child was born? Denver, in the state of Colorado. That was right there at Denver. And that's James Witzel, which is our ancestor and my family. Because we got a lot of these dummies out here that, hey, you got a white parent. I don't. On my Instagram, there's multiple pictures and matter of fact, there's a baby picture of me and both of my parents. And what's so funny is people know that picture exists and then they still get out here and tell you that lie. So I think to that regard, some people have interpersonal issues, and some people have colorist issues, I guess. Never been a thing for me, but I do get it. But that's people's own jealousy and envy. Isn't that right, Toothless? Anyway, these Africans keep coming out the woodwork, and Tethers too, and then of course all of these other toothless sock dancers that are posers, along with immortal idiots that will come out here and team up together just to combat other Black folks. Then they call themselves fighting Tethers, but then they're also fighting foundational Black Americans as while still technically being foundational Black Americans because they're idiots. But, well, I don't subscribe to the name and this and that. A lineage is a lineage, and it doesn't change. You people that are stuck on that minuscule, low-minded, low-brow, low-energy, low vibrational conversation to be hung up on a title and think because one person brought a title. Let me ask you this. Is everybody that eats at McDonald's a child of Ronald McDonald? If you go to a job, does that make you, oh, well, you're a child of this? Or let's say, for instance, you play basketball. Does that mean Jordan must be your daddy? No, it doesn't. But for some reason, this is what annoys me the most, is hearing adult men speaking like this. You guys are, this is Arrested Development. You've never matured. You've never grown up. All you know is to be emotionally and messy, obviously like the females that you grew up who raised you. Because you guys all act like this. There's no one in y'all's midst that's putting 2 feet in the ground saying we going in this direction. It's just a bunch of dudes getting together like females. So, it's funny was watching how everything has played out just at the beginning of this short week. You guys are literally doing spaces trying to get clout based off of other people, while watching me right now to try to get notes for content. Ain't that right, Sock Dance is stupid? How many burners do you got? and other groups have been started off of like siphoning off my content. Then you know how, because then they'll turn around and be like, oh, his little YouTube channel that I got 4 different burners watching because I stalk another grown man because I'm moist. Ain't that right, sockless, sock dancing stupid? These dudes, let me tell you something about these guys. These guys, especially the guys you see go hard on my timeline for absolutely nothing. These are envious, jealous dudes who done had they tainted with in their lifetime. So they ain't never dealt with that or got therapy. So they don't know how to conduct themselves as a man. They come off as men just because they're aggressive. Ladies, you need to know the difference. And I understand how let me take that back. All of these men that are doing this for y'all, or will sit up here and talk all of this Derek Jackson simp sucker shit, these dudes are still single because y'all ain't dating them. And they too stupid to know that women can pick out weaknesses in men and then they'll manipulate that. Let's come on and keep it a buck, ladies. When y'all have a good, stupid pigeon who's willing to be a crash test dummy, sometimes y'all take advantage, don't you? All of this protect black women. You think they ain't finna take your little stupid ass and say, hey, come over here and fight for me? Of course, dummy. Ain't getting you no closer to nothing. Because you've never been a player. Yeah. It's another thing, too. You got clout chasing this and that. And for everybody you trying to get next to, got their number in my phone. And here's the other thing. They can all say, he ain't called me once. Unless I've been told to call somebody, you ain't heard. I don't do that. But I know a lot of y'all wouldn't be able to handle that. Phone be ringing at 3 a.m. Oh, hey, sister, I just wanted to check on you because, I know them people in these spaces can be kind of harsh sometimes. I just wanted to make sure that you was okay. Gotcha. Ladies, let me tell you something. I'm a child of the pretty women. So all that stuff y'all run on these dudes, I sit back and watch like, The benefit of being offspring of the pretty. I watch all this crap. Watch all these so-called tough-talking dudes turn into flower candy-bringing dudes. I've seen all kind of ways dudes have gotten themselves played, and they just really be eating it up. Ladies, be careful when you take advantage of dudes like that. I'll just say, though. Because a lot of these dudes ain't wrapped too tight. And like I said, some of these dudes really need therapy. And their minds go to a certain place, especially in a conversation where there's nothing sexual. To say something, then they automatically go there. This week has been a trip. I just the things, how things are turning out and things are manifesting. Word to the wise. Said it 1,000 times on this channel. If you are in those back channels, get your ass out now. You are in a dead of low vibration. And you know what keeps you there? Is flirting with that low vibration. Because y'all know you can't save everybody. So if you're going to sit up there and be around all of that mess, pretty soon mess consumes you. Because birds of feather flock together. If you're not rocking together, then you ain't flocking together. And you can never say that what someone else is doing, my hands are clean when you riding with them. Jesus. Helpful hint. Now, back to the tethers. These people are very upset because we have delineated, and we have delineated with a very hard stance. And they don't have anything left. The one thing they have been holding on to is their hate and derangement over Tariq Nasheed. And I will now, again, tell you it is Tariq Nasheed derangement syndrome. I make a post. Hey, for all intents and purposes, another reason why I wanted to come on camera, I need to make sure that you people, especially in the Twitterverse, understand something very clearly. Look at me good. I am not Tariq Nasheed. And then you say, well, you 50-year-old man. Well, then me and Rashid must be in the same age bracket. So clearly I did not come up under him. So that means my experience is like his, just a lot of you. So we're coming together in the mind of our experience is shared. The mind state of he's created something and everybody came to it. Where is your family from? Because the fact you don't understand the concept, that tells you ain't one of us. And I can tell the difference between the people who don't understand it and then the other people who are just straight staunch haters. You know, those are our homegrown haters. They're just idiots because nobody really liked them. And now they get a chance to get on stages and, well, not really, but they get on cyber stages, e-stages, to where they mostly feel comfortable being. And they commence in the good drug of Cloutopia. Because in some cases, large groups provide a place for people who aren't normally interesting to most people. And when a space provides the same said person with the mic, they easily can fall into the pitfalls of Cloutopia, where anyone who is a great overtalker while being a bad listener can be passed off as wise, because the spirit of wisdom clearly took a pass on all of them. To this day, this statement rings 1,000% true. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Same clout chasers, same I gotta use somebody else's name. I gotta be able to use a beat, doesn't exist. I gotta do this because these people have no content of their own. Here I am just giving you content. Here they are talking about me. Be mindful of that narcotic, folks. Shout out to all my sock dancers out there. Everybody like to dance in that room with the sock. Take the shoes off and dance on your tippy toes. Because you 4'11", so you need to talk tough. Mouth look like you've been chewing on boulders, so you got to wear a mask. It's not even COVID anymore, but you know. That was it. That was the logical excuse when people hide their face and have they profiles be like this. Yeah, maybe I don't want people to know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Really? That's what it is, huh? People found my little mugshot and they post that, but you think somebody's looking for you with a jail record on X. If you guys believe that foolishness, you are stupid as he is. Oh, Lord. I don't know why that dummy jumped back out the window this week, but he did. So, I mean, hey. And from a burner, you got to be some kind of stupid to always respond from a burner account. But this dum-dum actually says, I've been following him for 4 years. Why? If I don't mess with you, why are you following me? People's obsession is crazy. But like I'm really looking at these people with their obsession of Tariq Nasheed, and it is this is crazy. Y'all, too many of you that are just in dire, because you see us the same. We not. I got talent, you know. So we've never been in the same realm. Let's just say I have a skill. I have a certain skill set that I can take certain places, things can pop. I've shown and I've made money for folks. I made money for a lot of people, actually. A lot of money. So, yeah, you know, there's that. Because things I can produce. But it is what it is. People believe what they will believe. And right now, one of the things that these people are believing is that foundational Black American freedmen have a leader. This is a leaderless movement. There is no leader. There is no organization called Foundational Black American. There are a couple groups that use the name Freedmen that are doing things for Freedmen, trying to get that locked down. Freedmen is our lineage status here in the country. See, this is other things that tellers don't know. Freedmen is a status. So you say Black and African American? No. Freedmen is the status. You can use whatever identifier you want. It doesn't make a difference. The 14th Amendment is about those freedmen and their descendants. That right there is a constitutional law that deals with our lineage. If that ain't you, I don't know what to tell you. But there's people who got so much to say. And the woman in the video, I have to properly give her introduction. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about this woman telling Tetheristic stories about foundational Black American freedmen. And without further ado, I give you Nigerian Lace Front Confessions.
I was today years old when I found out that some people believe that the transatlantic slave trade was a hoax. Like, there's people out there that think that it was impossible to sail across the Atlantic. I'm literally putting this here because I can't believe, like, my own eyes couldn't believe it at first. Some people think that there were indigenous Black people in the Americas. Children were left behind. The schools need to be reopened. Also, whenever you think there's a huge conspiracy, I feel like your first question should be, why? For what purpose? Like, if this would be the most elaborate conspiracy, to what end? There has to be like an obvious answer. And if there isn't, then I feel like your conspiracy is wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, let's first address something. Black Americans do not believe that the transatlantic slave trade was a hoax. We actually have the real, true, authentic data listing where all of these transatlantic slave ships went. One of the things that we always heard, especially me as a child, is why all the hurricanes and storms hit the eastern seaboard is because that's where the slaves were first dropped off. However, there were slaves that were already here. Some of us, hell, see, this is the thing. People talk about American Maroons and y'all like, oh, this American moron. There's no such things as the Maroons. Nigga, hello, stupid. There's plenty of us with this blood in us. What are you talking about? These people come over here like, that's not real. Yes, it is. We exist, idiot. It's a lot of us out here. Like, and then the whole Caribbean thing. Man, let me tell you something. In my family, what we used to hear about some of those ties, you know what you used to hear? We Black, we Cherokee, and we French. Where's the French coming at? Where's the French Quarter? You know, the old Louisiana Purchase. Again, if you look at the history of the Maroons, you know, for those of you who have traveled all over the world, you can read a book about the Maroons. And the runaway French slaves under Napoleon when they had their Western or mid, you know, they had Delta sold up, and America needed that to expand out west. You know, the Louisiana Purchase, you know, those runaway slaves that made it down to the swamps of Florida. And then later, after the 3 wars with America, forced a lot of them back into the Delta from Florida. So going around from Florida up through the Mississippi River, up the Delta, and settled. So you got a lot of Black folks or Creole Cherokees in that area. And for those of y'all who are from that area, a Creole Cherokee should not be a hard understanding. For some reason, I come across a lot of these new Negroes that never understood what that was. It's like, where are these people from? Or they ain't teach y'all nothing. And a lot of these people haven't got taught I'm old enough to have the old heads around me. So we had real history about our folks here. You ain't gonna learn this in no book. And on top of that, who your family is and your kin here, and how far our lineage goes back. Like, we can trace our lineage back to slavery and before slavery. On my daddy's side, there was Black folks who were here. And again, contrary to popular belief, not every Black family has a slave name. They have names that derive from either what they are or what they do. And here's another thing about slavery. When they went and conquered these folks and got them out of, because see, they talk all of this Europe crap, or no, they talk all this Africa crap, but they never talk about these Blacks from Europe who were on the run. Or the ones that fled Israel and that territory hella early. Started going down into southern. Those are different people hiding amongst other melanated folks. Guess what that means? That means y'all don't share the same blood. That means y'all share the same region, but y'all don't share the same blood. Funny coincidence about those people and those Moors over there in Europe. We have a lot in common. Why don't we have as much in common with the people on the continent? You know, it's kind of striking to me. If you just look back, and just a theory, I mean, I'm just, for all of you Ghanaians out there, right? You know, when you are watching Black folks being loaded up on slave ships with your assistants, did you think that we should look back at you and say, brothers? Or should we look back and say, maybe we are a different group of people because you had no loyalty to us? And so you would team up with our enemies because we were your enemies as well. So if we still have a perpetual enemy in what we say, the man, and in supremacy, then wouldn't it be safe to say that the melanated helpers of our oppression also still harbor these same animosities? Is it hard to believe? So we absolutely believe the Atlantic slave trade existed, so much so that we could tell you it was two Dahomey ships, two ships from what you would now call Nigeria. You know where that Woman King story derives from? You know, man, two ships from them were the last two coming here. And they still tried to come here and had to get turned away. Because America had actually stopped. But them Africans were still trying to find ways to turn a buck on a black slave. Maybe y'all need to do your history. And maybe you need to understand why we ain't got no connection to you. Here, even more so. Let me show you something again, because we do this often around here. So if you're new, here is Dr. Martin Luther King. And you can actually find audio of this, but I'll read it. We know nothing about Africa. This is Dr. Martin Luther, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. We know nothing about Africa. Although our roots are there in terms of our forebears. But I mean, as far as the average Negro today, he knows nothing about Africa. And I think he's got to face the fact that he is an American. His culture is basically American. And one becomes adjusted to this when he realizes what he is. An American, not an African. Let me go through some of these comments. So here's a long answer. Let's see what this guy has to say. It's a simple question with a simple answer depending on where you're talking about. Now, again, my question is, if you are going to say that what we do in our culture is African inspired, then you have already identified the country to which that inspiration comes from. So to prove that these people are liars, this is you weren't eating, fella. You weren't eating here. This actually exposes the lie. Okay? That's what you just did. But I appreciate you, though, and I hope you guys are watching, because this is great teaching tools. So let's go on. Example. Before the Louisiana Purchase, Black Americans who were originally under the dominion of France came from Senegambia region. I guess if you looked at pictures of my great-grandma Bessie, I guess she would be like, well, she's dark, but she damn sure don't have the features of them Africans. But yes, she was absolutely super dark, but not an African. Yeah. Oh, you know why? Because, because again, she's a maroon. So you mean to tell me that the French slaves, you could say, came from Senegambia, and none of them actually came from France? There were no Moors that were in that. Yeah, you missed it, buddy. Okay, continuing on. But let's see. The Gullah Geechee people, many of us came from Sierra Leone region. But on the whole, we are a variety of West and Central African countries whose tribes are blended together as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. If you're going to say our tribes are blended together, then our tribes are also blended together with the European. And you're not putting him in the mix. So when it starts getting a little murky now, isn't it? Now, what about the people who were mixed here? What tribe did they mix in with? Oh, because I know the one woman that I played, this one, she doesn't actually believe black people were here, but that's already proven and documented. Matter of fact, from here to Colombia. You know, Columbus, when he touched down, he destroyed all of the first people that he met. So, it's very interesting that these people, man, there was no dark people. The Olmecs, all these statues, you can find enough evidence over here to find black faces. So for an African to be coming over here telling us this, hey, your birthday was January 1st. Sorry we missed it. Belated happy birthday. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, what does this mean? It means that our ethnogenesis in this country, America, and the ethnogenesis of black folks in the Caribbean is a result of the genetic cluster that produced the unique cultures that would emerge as a result of this unique blend, spiritually and anthropologically. I wish they would actually explain that one, but no, we don't share the same. See, to say spiritually, then why is our worship services so different than anybody else's? Our connection to our music is unlike anybody else's. Where is the spiritual connection there? It's not. It's just not there. It's not. Now, if you go around the Caribbean, yeah. Now, they'll have some drum in there, and they'll be like, this is African rhythm. But it's also blended with some other stuff, and that ain't no tribes with us. If you look at how these ships were going, there weren't southern, central African ships coming up north. They were going south, more so to Brazil. You need to be hollering this to the Brazilians, man, not us up here. You're talking about in the slave trade where the least came. Now, if you go by way of prophecy, it never said, the prophecy does not say everyone is carried away in change. It does say Israel is carried away or change, not to see this place again. Also, when you're coming to this place by ships, that was not a say you're coming as property. But then to end up as bondmen and no one will save you. That still happened. Whether you came to this land by ship on your own volition, which a lot did in the 1500s. Where do these people get their information from? I don't understand. And like I keep asking everybody, why the hell do they not mention the Moors when it comes to us? We are literally the closest tie. Clearly, there's a reason. Well, let's look at Western Africa. Look, all of this, like, there's no talk about the Moors. This is nuts. Where'd the Moors go? Why are you talking about Africa? We cannot point to any one tribe because our genetic frequency is a blend of all of these tribes. This is one of the long ones, too. This is not the longest by far. But see, you want to tell us everything we're doing is inspired by Africa. But my question is, well, then you should be able to identify that country. But now all of a sudden, things start getting so nuanced that actually what you initially said can't be true. So now he's going to get to the real meat of the matter of what bothers him. And of course, just like most moist idiots, They're going to bring an irrelevant group into the conversation, a group of people who actually got their start because of toothless sock dancer, and took this material when I actually told y'all FBA was closed. And then a couple days later, there was a big space with Nigeria opened up their Wi-Fi, and a couple people got a little bit of flash in the pan fire because, Tariq Nasheed hopped up in their room, and the Africans was all over the place, and this whole thing blew up because Africans jumped on the internet. A lot of people don't remember that, but it's just a case of the truth. So we move the goalpost. Can't, such as our DNA, which can be understood through ethnogenic layering. No, it can't. But the pretendian Negroes who are ignorant of history, possessed by ideology, or just don't care about science in general or history in particular. See, here's where you always go wrong. We know more of our history than you, and you keep saying you're Gullah Geechee, but you keep going into the tether talk. And that's why, family, I'm telling y'all better watch these people, because they're going to come around here thinking that saying you're from somewhere is the barometer of what we know. Does this person talk like us? It's the point that they're trying to make. Because aren't they missing certain things we already understand? That's why I'm not even going to get into that. Because either they are like us or they're not. But he's saying he's Gullah Geechee. So the things that I'm not saying right now about this and what is missing, he should understand, right? I bet you he don't. Oh, I'm Gullah Geechee. I'm a Gullah Geechee. With Gullah Geechee is African.
Where's your family from?
See, so he goes to pretendian. I'm not a pretendian. I'm a Cherokee Creole. No pretendian. Foundational Black American freeman. True and through. Curly black, jet black hair and all. Well, salt and pepper now. But you get what I'm saying. Because, Creole folk have black hair. Not mixed. Mixed doesn't get you black hair. It's another thing. People talk all this genetic genome and all of this. You don't know you don't get black hair from a mixed parent. Or being mixed, you can't get black hair. White people cannot genetically produce 7 to 9 layers of purple. To which you have to be, your hair has to be to do that, like mine is. Because my hair is actually purple. 7 to 8 shades. Well, actually more like 9. Purple. Not brown. My hair is purple. That's how you get jet black. So, also the notion of royalty, but whatever. Go off. So yeah, when you talk about our history and putting things together, ideology, possessed by ideology, what ideology? See, here, these people, you're a tether. You ain't one of us, and you could cut the crap. I'm glad I had time to sit down and go through this. Folks, if y'all interacted with this cat in my thread, this is not a Geechee. This is the talk of a freaking tether. He doesn't own enough of our history to be because this. Why are there things missing here? If he really knows what he's talking about, why are there things missing? Let's go on. And it's not all of a sudden that Africa is seeking to connect with us. Oh, it's not. We have been trying to connect with Africa and vice versa for years. When FBA family, let's watch him walk this dog right on off the deck. Okay. Whether we are talking about Paul Robeson, Du Bois, or Kwame Nkrumah, or Kwame Ture, that's where you could go. And that was it. You want to throw Jackie Robinson in there too? Marcus Garvey? Let these people talk long enough and they will expose themselves. Thank you, man. What's your name again? Shadow. Brer Cat. So if you guys need to know, you guys are following the tether. Okay. I see our good sister Tamoria follows you. So yeah, you are not foundational Black American. And Tamoria, she's absolutely open about our she's part of the NOI. She's, I believe, Haitian, and she's never hid that she wasn't foundational Black American like you, Shadow. You are not foundational. See, the Gullah Geechee hustle, y'all need to peep this. It's the Gullah Geechee hustle is coming, y'all better be mindful of this. Let me go down here. Let's see, another episode and vice versa. It's just the illiterate Negroes. Let us know you're a tether without telling us you're a tether. It's who now? It's just the illiterate Negroes. Niggas! In the generation born in the mid-70s, early 80s, that is the problem with this narrative. They've construed about us out of context. They've lost the plot. What? You realize Clyde Anderson's still alive, right? Neely Fuller he just recently passed, right? Do you hear those men? Do you hear those men saying that? No. And here's something I've noticed that you tethers are really on today. You guys are on an all-out attack against myself and Tariq Nasheed. And you guys are freaking pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. And I'm glad. Yeah, see, shout out to the family. I'm getting these notifications. Shout out to the family. Get at these folks. These people are frauds, y'all. They are frauds. They're trying to come amongst our ranks because they get nervous and getting worried about getting deported. That's their problem. Okay, so as for the ties that are linked to sociology and anthropology of our connection to Africa, that is expressed more vividly among certain groups among us, especially in the South. Where? What are you talking about? Where in the South, or is the African culture just, it's the in thing? Where? Well, he's supposed to say anything, and that's what I said. Wow, what a seesaw of a response. Because my question is literally, if you could tell us all of this right here that he's doing, no, never miss it. See, here us. See, he made sure to he puts in us. The us word is there, and then the Gullah Geechee people, many of us can't see. So he's trying to tie himself into Gullah Geechee. Be mindful. That is the new hustling con. If you need any questions about if people are authentic or not, hit up our brother Greg Marcel Dixon. the official Geechee representative of Foundation of Black Americans. He's the voice of the Geechee grassroots. Definitely has not been allowed. Definitely. Oh man, Jean Price Mars. Jean Price Mars. So okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just an observation. It's not my opinion. It's a historical assessment. Do you have an objection to this? Yes, I do. It's simply not true. And again, like I said, just going through all of these things, you're talking about connect with. Now, let's go back to here. Where is Africa seeking to connect with us when they over there connecting with the Asians? Or they over here was trying to get 55 billion from Joe Biden. Where was the connection to us? Where's the connection to us? And they're not trying. Okay, if that was the case, then we're talking reparations over here. Everybody want to be part of our reparations. But there's CARICOM. Where is CARICOM involving us? Since, and vice versa, we've always trying to hook up, and Africa been trying to hook up with us. Well, we're the main ones getting reparations on the forefront. I don't hear no calls from CARICOM. Y'all? CARICOM reaching out to one of the voices out here? But what are these platforms of the grassroots? Ain't nobody talk to me. No. Let's see. Here's an African with a Ghanaian flag, Ghanaian savage here. He says, he can't refute anything you just said. Why would I need to? I know who we are. Y'all don't. Y'all are the tethers, and you have to resort to lying and being an imposter. I don't. These people act like we have something to prove to them that they ain't us and we ain't them. Do you have to go anywhere to tell somebody that they don't belong in your household? What the hell are these people on? Yeah, this is where it comes from. It doesn't. Oh, I do have a source, actually. Okay, so I guess his source was himself. Our genetic ancestry is mainly West and Central. Our ancestry, did you get this by way of your DNA tests? I can't. Oh, you guys are painful, man. You know that DNA shit is a scam, right? You just really was giving them the patents to clone you in the future. So they needed you to forfeit your DNA rights. Your genetic material is what you were giving them. And now they have a patent on your material. But those companies now are going out of business. And the Church of the Latter-day Saints has your DNA. Winning! Yeah, man, winning! Jeez. Whew. Our genetic ancestry is made as anywhere between 70 and 80%. There's some variance among the people who show some European, anywhere from 10 to 25%. As for indigenous American genetic influence, unless they are half native, it's usually the average between 2 and 5 admixture. This is why you did not need to go by that. There's a reason why that's manufactured to be that way. Do you understand the history of treaties in this country? Clearly you don't, because you're not from this country. But if you did, then you would know this. But, talking of history and all, I get it. You did a very good job of what they could teach you. What you are missing is the things that you would know if you were us. Even Ray Marcel Dixon would be able to tell you that. He would be able to look at what you're talking about. Be like, gotcha. So yeah, I get it. So here's Black Smithsonian. Native American DNA you speak of is considered East Indian DNA. They don't consider any other groups as indigenous when building the database. Any group before Columbus would be considered of the main ethnic group in similarity. If Black Americans are African, Cherokee are China. And it's showing you all of these people are, there's Native American, and then there's European. So that's a lot of East Asian and Native American. Northern Asian is only 2%, Manchurian, Mongolian. Also, all of those other Asians, but then you have Native American. And then you got European, you got Spanish, Portuguese. Some differences there. Let's see. Cyber Avenger says, again, that does not go for all of us. I am a living example. Brought up in traditional Black Southern or Black Southern family, complete with the delicious fried chicken recipes, only to trace my ancestry back to ancient Ireland. No slavery. Let's see what Shadow says. Because when you go back to ancient, when you're going back to ancient Ireland, it's because the Moors were there. So a lot of our DNA actually does. Because I got family that did do it, and I know where our family bloodline goes back to, and it's over in Europe. It's in Europe. I've had multiple family members who are stomping around in Europe. Constantinople is about the last place you're going to find. It's a long ways from Africa, baby. Just saying. Let's see. Yes, it does. And any theory about Black folks that were in America prior to 1619, that is historically connected to what we define linguistically, anthropologically, and genetically as Black Americans as is a myth created by pseudo historians with no understanding of genetics. You're Irish. Oh, 1619. The good ship Jesus. Good ship Jesus was in fact the Jesus Lubeck, a 700-ton ship purchased by King Henry VIII from some merchants. Let's see, what's this year? Slaves trade we got here. Let's see. 15. Let's see if I can make that big here. You see that? That's not 1619. That's not 1619 with your historical facts and all. You know. Ooh, let me go back here. Let's see. Oop. What does that say, baby? What that say? Ooh, good ship Jesus, the beginning of the slave trade. That's not 1619 with all of your historical accuracy. Y'all just a little bit, y'all didn't know. You were coming around the learned fella and the studied, and now I just debunked this piece of shit you just wrote on my page. With the fact. That's why I wasn't going to do this here. Like, no, let me go do a video and just cover this and knock this out real quick because you guys are full of it. Let's see what he say. So again, yeah. So he just went, proved himself to be absolutely incorrect. So he's talking about 1619 that is historically connected to what we define the blah blah blah. It's so good ship Jesus is a myth. If you guys remember the Criterion, July 4th, was that 2020 or 21, where Minister Louis Farrakhan gave his speech in the garden. And he also spoke of good ship Jesus because he was also talking about, and as we all were, commemorating the end of 400 years. And that man talked about good ship Jesus. I've talked about good ship Jesus since I've had this channel. One of you, or I guess your, so I'll go down. Wait, no, let me go down here. Your Irish roots are a result of admixture. She didn't say anything of the sort, fella. And she didn't say Irish meant white. See, this is when you try to be a smart historian on X. You're not. That's why I went, well, no, you can't even refute anything. I'll do this here and destroy all this bullshit. So you can just watch it real time. I'm not going to waste my time addressing all of these little absolutely false inaccuracies. You're wrong, and you know what the hell you're talking about. So anyway, she could be an Irish Moor. One of your ancestors had an Irish husband or wife. Maybe they were both Irish because they were both Moors. Irish, again, is not synonymous with being Caucasian. It is in the modern mind because that's what you know of modern. Oh, but man, you just said you knew history, dude. Guess you don't know as much history as you thought you do, which also is leading me into the direction of you being a tether. And for the record, the Irish were also slaves in their culture as well. No, they were not. They were indentured servants. And that's the white peasants who came here to America. Yes, they were indentured servants. And then they got freedmen dues when they were able to work off their debt, and they were let go, and then they still got taken care of on the back end. So they got a form of reparations. By the way, I noticed that you missed putting that in the piece right there. Maybe you didn't know. You know, with all of this history and all of that stuff. People freaking kill me. Cyber Avenger came back and said, you know nothing of my family. We actually can trace it back to ancient Ireland, one generation after another. Trying to pretend there weren't black people in Europe is so blasé. Let's see the response. Because, boy, you talking to, I'm telling you, this is the hustle. It's Gola Geechee. I'm Gola. Look at me, y'all. I'm a Geechee. But don't have no kind of absolute backwoods understanding of our history and lineage because you just simply ain't us. And it shows. So he comes back. Black folks in Europe are the result of the transatlantic slave trade. Log off, man. Log off. shadow. Just stop. I'm glad because, and I was almost going to say that I was going to go into this before I did this. I didn't want y'all to erase this. Wow, this is bad. Okay, continue. Black folks in Europe are the result of the transatlantic slave trade. False. Irish folks and Slavic people experienced discrimination in Europe and were relegated to toxic positions in European society. They were the niggas of Europe by white folks' standards. They often blended with us. In Europe, in Europe, you mean? Then how do you get the transatlantic slave trade from free Irish people up here in Ireland, next to England? And Africa's all the way over here. But somehow they're there because the transatlantic slave trade didn't have anything to do with the Moors ruling for 1,000 years. No, definitely not. You know, those Moors that we're closely related to, those people, right? Oh no, those are transatlantic. Oh no, they running out of gas, folks. Running out of gas. Okay. Irish were also Catholic, which the West was not fond of. That placed Irish and Italians in the same category of undesirables as Black folks, but held to a higher standard in the hierarchy of racism. I guess somebody's watched Gangs of New York. Your grandparents had Irish ancestors, and the DNA you are tracing is a result of the admixture of the white man or woman who can trace their DNA to ancient Ireland. Or maybe they are Moors. They just showed you a video. They posted letting you know there's Black people. There are Black. My family crest. Because Whitmore is a Moorish name. So when you say that, yes, back then there probably was a lot of mixing, but it wasn't Black folks on the bottom of that mixing. That's why people kept the name. The title Moor became a surname. And if you even go to the original Moorish temple here, one of them original buildings, if it's not the first, it's the second, is Whitmore Temple. But you gonna sit up here and tell me something, man? Get the hell out of here. We know our family, man. And it ain't what you're talking about. Some people that were there in the Moor science early days were because they were actually freaking Moors. And you just over here, it's an admixture of the white man and the woman. She ain't saying nothing about no white man or woman. Told you where they traced their lineage to. See, this is the thing that now they keep adding white people in the mix. And I was wondering, where is that going to happen? So now, oh no, there wasn't no Black. See how you keep trying to avoid the Moors? I keep pointing that out to y'all, family. They want to skip over the Moors to jump straight over to Africa. This dude right here is invested. And he think he eating, but he not. And again, thank you, Shadow, because had you would have not been so willfully ready to give up this false information, I would not be able to go through it. But, you know, it's good. You say, it's not a matter of me knowing your personal family history, but rather the history of the world in its proper context. What? If his family, wait, well, then what is the history of the Moors in Europe? Because you keep skipping over there like there was none there. They all had to mix. No, they didn't. The last Doge of Venice, you could go look his face up. There's no mistaking. And he don't look like no African, but he most definitely looks like a foundational Black American. For all of those busts that are over there in Europe, all of those Black faces, what about the icons in Russia? Don't none of them folks look African? There's a whole nother group of Black folks that y'all keep trying to ignore, and they are not African, and they let you know they're not African. Because I'm from that lineage, I have I have going back to the coins. So all of that you talking, you full of crap. And these people, you know, they rep the palm tree. They didn't rep Africa. You saw palm trees on their coins. For those that you have palm trees, is because of the way that particular group of people, hair grows up and out like a palm tree, whether it be curly or an afro. Your hair, our hair, my hair grows like a palm tree. And our ancestors' tree is and was the palm tree. These people come around here lying. So Cyber Adventure came back and said, dude, stay ignorant. I don't care. You don't get to tell me what my family story is. I know it, and that's not it. Happy sea lioning. And then there's this guy, because if you're a white Irish person, officially a troll, Black Irish. They're not like that. There's no such thing as a Black Irish unless his nationality is from Ireland. Then that would mean anybody from Ireland would be Irish. So if they're Black, then they would be Black Irish. It's like a Black American. See, this is why they want to go away from our Moorish connection. It excludes them. I just wanted to show you that real quick. He's the main one. There is another one. Let me go get to some of these guys down here, because there's one guy that is really crazy. Oh, this here. Let me go here. Shout out to our sister Boykin Spaniel there. Boykin Spaniel been out there putting in the work. That proud girl. So again, my question, what country do we have camaraderie with? Because I don't want to get it wrong. Knowing that all we need to do is become organized as a people to success, and there is enough success for everyone, whoever, quote, knows what needs to be done. Can you do it with those that divide us while you're, doing the deed? So my question is this, and as you see, this is my question 4 hours ago. At what period of time were we all together advocating for Black non-immigrant lineage was a thing for Africans? Legitimate question, right? Here's her response. When have we had the sovereignty or justice Ma'am, the question was, have these people ever made a mumbling peep to advocate for us? There in Africa, they got plenty of sovereign land in Africa. I don't need to know about a tether here in America. Have you spoke up in your homeland for us and advocated for us in your homeland? Because you're saying division and divisive. Well, then when the hell were we all together? Well, clearly she sidestepped that question now, didn't she? Right, good. Because, that question they never want to answer because you can't divide something that was already divided. Right? They don't want to admit that part. So that's why I asked it. So again, so that's the important question. See, so her response to, at what period of time were we all together? Her response is, when have we had the sovereignty or justice that we desire or deserve? That's the important question. Wasn't my question. Not this tit for tat BS that I see on here every day. Why people don't like each other either, but they will stick together for the collective. And ATP done even I don't know what is that, AAIP or something you're supposed to say? Doesn't even need to as the majority. What makes you say they stick together? I think they would tell you no. They stick together to fight for the privilege, but they don't stick together. They hate each other. What are you talking about? You got a fantasy of them people, obviously. That proud girl. She ain't too sharp though. She goes on because she had to tell me my business, right? So it's this incompetent and linear way of thinking that's really effing us up. I don't care. My question was, at what period of time were we all together? Just going to remind you of the question. Let her go on. I don't care where you come from. You black, oppressed, want to create more inclusive world for people that are of your hue? No, not my job. They ain't gave a damn about foundational Black American freedmen. Not at all. We worried about us and us again. And those that are in line with us, yes, we are in line with them. However, this particular mission is about us. And that's where our focus is. Why are you trying to deter it or shoehorn something else in there? It ain't there. And again, my question is, what period of time were we actually together? Because we hear this division nonsense all the time. So I need to know when you were down with me. And then you keep trying to go and, well, aren't you what? That's not the question, ma'am. And that is not how you're going to get things done. This is why Democrats are losing and have lost. And this is why you guys are going to have to get the hell up out of our country, because you don't have your minds right. Here is the truth. I'm a freedman. I'm undeportable. You don't sound like you are. And you want to now put this kind of talk over here that we need to be concerned about making a better world for you. MF. Hashtag fire up the jet.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today. It's your beautiful day, and we gonna party all day like it's a freaking holiday.
Notice now she didn't, Proud Girl right here didn't really try to take the whole tether position. Now this person only has 30 followers, so this person really is actually looking at this page right here. This isn't just a troll account. This is a burner. This is a burner right here. This ain't no troll account. This is a burner. With all of this is a burner. So usually when you see stuff like this might be somebody from around Rolling. Colbert, is that you? Because you had to type it without cussing. Maybe that's why I got the typos. But this part right here, want to create a more inclusive world for people. And I'm fixing that typo right there. World, I know it's not word. Inclusive world for people that are of our hue. Why would we be based on color when we're talking lineage? That's a completely different conversation. That's all I need to know, that we're all family and to organize for now. That makes no sense. And then again, now tell me how division helped us. And again, my point is, doesn't division require you to first be together? That has not been the case. So what is the division? And so here's what her response. No, necessarily, I guess not necessarily. However, I think the definition sums it up perfectly. I know what the definition is. A disagreement between two or more groups, typically producing tension or hostility. Growing sense of division between North and South. You know, the point, though, of that is still the same one I made. North and South were once together. At what point of time were we all together? That is the question, ma'am. Not all of this sidestep. Look at all these answers. Look at all these long, drawn-out statements. Very simple question. At what period of time were we all together? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 words. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different posts to not answer. You guys are pathetic. Oh, and then Stupid Toothless came back under his other burner. So this is, now his other ones will be Josie Wells. So here's another Josie or Jose. This ain't Jose, but yeah, no, this is Toothless. Hilarious. Hey, stupid, you're not supposed to respond as yourself under your burner. And here he does it again. Oh, God, there's no helping this guy. That's why the guys over there at the trial, they can just clown you and kick you to the curb, and then you just make your way back over there. Because that's the type of hanger on your ass is. Like, we're not fooling with this idiot this week. Get out of here. Man, that ain't cool. They did me wrong, man. Then you be right back up in there. Idiot. I can't do it. Here's some more. Okay, African Americans are a mix of tribes from West and Central Africa. You can't really say they're from this area. It will depend on an individual basis. If you do your African ancestral DNA to see which tribe. Oh, you work at the airport, Ishmael. I was just going to say, the way you talking, you took that jab, didn't you? And seeing that you work at the airport, yeah, your ass did. Shut up, Ishmael. Your judgment stinks. We don't listen to people who took the jab like that, stupid. You can shut up. just by your statement. It's like, oh, you took that jab. Let me go see. And then your profile. Oh, you actually work at the airport. Yeah, you most definitely took that shit. Yeah, you have nothing to say over here, friend. I'm trying to find this person that's obsessed with Tariq. Here we go. This person, this is one of them. This is one of the people that's like Tariq obsessed. So this is what I don't understand. This is my video. This is literally me in the video. You see me. But these people are so obsessed with Tariq. It's Tariq Nasheed derangement syndrome these people got. Look at this. Because it's all according to your own damn scholars, bloody agent. Even your daddy, Tariq the meek slide freak, built his name off of global global African history. Go suck your daddy, Trump. I'm sure it's supposed to mean Trump. Orange, yeah. And of course, he has a Tariq Nasheed thing. Okay, well, I'm seeing a few people who follow him. See a few people that you know. I used to see around this channel, but I don't see no more. But I see y'all over here. It kind of lets me know a little something. Yeah, that kind of tells me a little something. I have an idea of where this might be coming from. What the hell happened to my camera, man? I don't know what just happened. What the hell just happened? What's going on? Okay, no. All of a sudden, my camera just shut off. That was weird. It was hella weird. I've never seen StreamYard do that one. Goodness. All right. Well, we almost out of here, folks. I just wanted to go through this. But I'm going to show y'all this because this is like the Caribbean or something. Like, man, Tariq used to be a Pan-African this and this and that. There's a lot of people who used to subscribe to Pan-Africanism. We don't anymore. And this is my thing here. Again, it's you don't like it. It's agent and then Daddy Tariq, and then you're talking about Trump. And I mean, because they be mortally wicked and consciously stupid, that so they say idiotic things like that. And then they'll go have spaces and cackle amongst themselves because they be mad and upset at a grown-ass man that calls little punks like that bitches. And they were mortally soft because they don't like to be called bitches. But it wasn't no problem when you were saying that a brother was touching children that wasn't. So you do act like a bitch. Because that's some sucker shit. Don't put no tag on nobody like that because it's cool. Only a female acting. Them little middle school girls is, I've seen this. Yeah, dude acting like that is a beast. But this is why I see you guys like this. Hated it. Your obsession with another man is really for a different audience because Tariq nor Trump is in this post, weirdo. So back to your goof troop, or maybe hold a space whining on how you failed as a man. Toothless, stupid, and consciously immortal. Look at these weirdos. Who did this? You got this much time to sit up here and do all of this? 2014, I Love Africa. 2019, Tethers. It's a big difference. A tether is not an African. A tether is a tether. Look at how they convolute messages. And they're just obsessed with this guy. Man, I'm sorry. I just don't spend that much time paying attention to another damn man. And shout out to Tariq Nasheed. But Jesus Christ, you guys are sick, man. You don't have lives of your own? There's nothing going on in your personal life that you don't need to be on here worried about what another man is doing? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all are, yeah, man. You a weird breed, folks. That's all I can say. Look at this. Look at this crazy madness. You know what I mean? Let me go here. So here's another person got their burner cracking, right? Calling out all racists and grifters, turncoats, and xenophobes. Why do they all sound the same, and why are they all coming out today? Oh, well, look at him. Oh, man, that clapback kick the moment the FBA declared verbal war on every other black person because their lord and pimp master, the William O'Neill grifter, Tariq Nasheed, groomed and indoctrinated you all to do so. People were preaching Pan-Africanism long before any FBA grift. What's the grift of FBA? Because if you got to get out of our country, can't grift anything from you because you got to take your ass home. Super Dave with the good response. This is the only thing Pan-African has ever brought was a bunch of bullshit preaching. That's why Black Americans are done with that movement. Is dead. That movement is dead. And that movement is dead. It's going to get out of this country by your collar or through a boot in your ass. Shout out to Super Dave. And I'm pretty sure this tetherall was probably made by Red Joker. If not, forgive me. But Red Joker been on these folks' tops for a few years now. And tetherall, y'all need to get some tetherall in your system. You got to get it in your life because you guys have a major problem with us. And you have a major problem with Tariq Nasheed derangement syndrome. You can't make it. You can't win continuing to go at another man that's just simply not your man. He's not part of your family. He's not your kin. There's none of that. And also, just to side note, for all of you people who believe we need to be joining up with you, I mean, I can understand the Africans because at least you could come over here and halfway pass off a delusion that we should be together and that you have actually been rocking with us when we know you haven't. But I mean, at least, you could kind of tether in that way. But that, of course, is the classic definition of being a tether. So before we go, let me also remind you that we do not subscribe to that black and brown coalition.
The Latino and Black communities have always been like this, and we should continue staying like that. There's no reason why the two communities should be fighting, okay? We have fought next to each other, side by side, since the Civil Rights Movement, okay? There's no time for beef on either side. We need to stand together, especially with everything that's going on right now in this country. So just a reminder that the Latino community and the Black community are like this always.
We are not. Ever. And if anybody that's ever had to go behind them walls can tell you, there is no unity at all between black and brown. They like to team up with Team White. Oh Lord, let me go back off the hold on, what else in here? These people are so delusional. Okay, let me just show you all this. Starting up here with me. But I thought everything Black culture comes from Africa, so surely you can point to who is doing what we do right now in Africa, because all of that DNA is still there, right? Now, who said everything Black American culture came from Africa? Much was birthed right here, but I do see similarities in our dance influence. I don't. The way we both smack our lips to nonsense. No, they actually copy us with that. And even in our soul food and West African dishes. And yeah, your DNA doesn't change just because your location did. There's no soul food in Africa. Y'all eat bushmeat. What are you talking about? So Jomil says, it makes no sense to claim somewhere that you have no connection to other than what crackers have told you. Every African there has a tribe and country. Why are Black Americans expected to pretend? Most of us want nothing to do with that place. We don't live like that. And this person here, which of course is another one of these tethers with a burner. White people told you what? Africans live like what? Laughing. And exactly. Just say you're in denial and don't want anything to do with the continent. Self-hate doesn't change facts. Here's the thing about self-hate. We would actually have to be African. We have not been anywhere near that continent ever. Which means we're not African because we don't come from Africa. So if we were self-hating, we would be self-hating and be a coon. That's what we have words for. See, when you talk about a person who is hating themselves, we call them this. Sambo. Or we call them this.
Dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
But we don't sound like this. Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Whew. I leave the 2/3 club with the tethers. There might be some of y'all out there that say, hey, man, this is a harsh one. You need to, we don't have any obligation to anybody but ourselves. We are focusing on foundational Black American freedmen issues solely. Until we get our parties in this country to which also carry the citizenship of American, to where we carry our citizenship that has been grandfathered to us by way of our ancestors building this country, not fleeing, but building, and then also continuing the tradition to take on head up, face up white supremacy and combat it till the end. None of you come from that. We stand alone. Respect that. If you can. I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official. The Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat. The grassroots and the voices of new Black media. I think I am safe to say I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
That's right. And always remember,
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor.
You
40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Family, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BZillaPDX. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can do so by way of donation at Cash App, $BeatZillaPDX. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZillaMuzak at PayPal. And see, black media is supported by the grassroots, not the large corporations. So we speak for the people. We represent the people. We are the people's megaphone. And I know some of y'all hate it. And to all you hating tethers, and for all of you other toothless goofies and sock dancing idiots and people who like to make stupid allegations because really they just trying to get close and get in the good graces of butter up the women that look good, you know, I guess they figure maybe you might have some desperate nights, ladies. You might just want to have a shiny, spiffy turd to talk to, but probably not. So, fellas, just remember, you're still going to be lonely, although you're simping.
Teach your man how to squabble. Get that trigger next time, nigga.
Y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed night. Keep your notifications on also, and make sure you go over to Zilla Perspectives and subscribe over there to Zilla Perspectives. We got another video airing in the morning. So, till then.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him, no. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knocked out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.